What's up Sabah? Sekali lagi kita bertemu di Expats Kejohanan Isukan Campus Expats Cake 2019 secara langsung dari Dewan Kuliah Pusat Baru 2 Universiti Malaysia Sabah. Wow, amazing crowd. Terima kasih kepada orang-orang Sabah yang sudi hadir ke Expats Cake Zone Borneo kali ini. Tentunya kita mahu berterima kasih kepada penaja utama kita Expats yang telah mencetuskan Expats Kejohanan Isukan Campus 2019 buat julung-julung kalinya. Ini merupakan lokasi ketiga Zone Borneo. Kita berada di mana? Di Universiti Malaysia? Yes, itu semangat yang kita inginkan. Saya ingin turut berterima kasih kepada penganjur bersama My Game On, portal permainan nombor 1 Malaysia, Kitaman dan juga Universiti Malaysia Sabah bersempena sambutan Jubli Perak UMS. Tepukan untuk UMS sekali lagi. Dan dengan kerjasama Predator, Sedes dan Mobile Legends E-Project, juga penaja bersama kita Boost, Cadbury 5 Star, Mountain Dew dan Todak. Tak dilupakan rakan rasmi kita Media Prima Digital Media, Prima Labs, SACE, Bulan, TV3, 8TV, TV9, Harian Metro, Fly FM, Hot FM, 1FM dan Portal Delaki. Terima kasih kerana setia mengikuti kami di mana jua anda berada. Tentunya secara langsung ini dipancarkan menerusi Facebook My Game On dan Expert khas untuk semua peminat isukan tanah air. Dan kita masih lagi berada di hari pertama Expert Cake Zone Borneo di UMS. Dan sebentar tadi kita dah ikuti sesi talk bersama our favourite caster Ikutur Rahman untuk career in esports. Kali ini kita ingin berbicara mengenai game development sendiri bersama dengan pembikin permainan yang tidak asing lagi. Tim dan juga brandnya sudah pun menempuh nama di peringkat antarabangsa dan ini bukanlah calang-calang orang untuk kita bawakan ke pentas Expats Cake petang ini. Dan tanpa membuang masa, kita berikan tepukan gemuruh untuk Mr. DC Gan from Magnus Game Studio.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Gan.
Hi. Hello.
Alright, so last week kita dah jumpa kat Melaka.
Yep,
hari ini di Sabah.
Yep.
So I'm very sure they are very excited to see what's in store for this talk. Sebab I'm also sangat-sangat seronok last week because I got to learn more about your games, about Magnus Game Studio, about
Legend,
yep, and all the cute animals in it. Alright, so
so
the stage is yours, the crowd is yours. Tepukan untuk Mr. Gan.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Dah makan? Okay dah? So, anyone here likes to play game? Oh, kuatnya. Again, anyone like to play game here? That's the spirit. Okay, I am DC Gan. I'm from Magnus Game Studio. And today, I'm here to share about how to be a game developer and how to make your own game. So, anyone have any idea of how games are made? Tahu tak? Tak tahu? Nak tahu tak? Okay. Alright, so today I'm gonna share, wait, let's see if, alright. So, a quick introduction. So, the company is founded by me and my brother. So, we are siblings and we started our own studio called Magnus Game Studio. And this is our team. We started with only 2 of us and we expanded to 6 people. Then after that, now we have more than 30 people in the studio. So just within 1.5 years' time. So I'm going to share how and what have we done to be here. So this is the game we have developed. I'm not sure if you guys heard about Real Legend. Anyone heard about the game before? Yes, no, yes, never mind. I shouldn't have asked that question. But yeah, so this is what we have achieved before we expanded to 30 people. We started. We were in a validation platform. Anyone know Square Enix? Final Fantasy? Yeah, you guys know, right? But anyone knows that they actually have a platform to validate your own game? Not many, right? So we are one of the first few who discovered that platform, and we have pitched our game onto that platform. And until today, we are still the only game in the world who got a 99% upvote. Thumbs up for us lah. So, thank you. And after that, we know that people like the game. People like the design, the direction of the game. Then, what do we do next? Then we need money. We need fundings. So we look for a Kickstarter. Anyone know what's a Kickstarter? Yes. I saw some people say yes. Okay, so Kickstarter is a platform where you pitch your idea. And after that, when people like your idea, they're gonna pledge, they give you money. Like it's like pre-order to your game. So that's how in less than 30 days we have raised almost 2 million. And that's how we start growing and we meet more people. And also after that, we have our global publisher, 505 Games. Anyone know Stardew Valley? Stardew Valley? Yes, yes. Oh, so many years there. Okay. Yeah, so they are the publisher for Stardew Valley, and they are also a listed company in Italy. So we are very happy to be one of the first few company to have a global publishing deal with them. So, without further ado, what's video game development? Okay, the video game development means it's a process of making a video game. That's very obvious, right? So it is about visualizing your own concept in your mind, and then you design it, you develop it, you build it, and then you release it to the public. So it can be a one-man team, it can be a 10-people team, it can be a 100-people team. So it doesn't matter. It's a game organization. So if you have no knowledge, you know nothing about what to do as a game developer, but you have ideas, then you can Google, YouTube it. That's how we started 9 years ago. Yeah, that's how me and my... Actually, there are 3 major processes. It's a pre-production, production, and the post-production. As you can see, pre-production is where we come up with a game concept and game design. We call it the GDD, game design document. That's very, very important, which I am going to talk more in detail in the next slide. So in pre-production is where we put a lot of things into one scene to see if the things in our mind is the same. So for example, I want a character to move from A to B, and between A to B, I want something to happen. So this is what I have in mind. So in the pre-production, a proof of concept is where you try to make that thing in the lessest amount of time and resource as possible. Because that is only for you to test if that works. Don't waste a lot of time. You go for the best graphics and the bugless, demo when you are still in pre-production. Because a lot of things is going to change. A lot of things is definitely going to change. And also in pre-production, you set what kind of artwork you want. You want to go for the medieval ones, or you want to go for the animation, anime kind of style, or what kind of 3D or 2D kind of asset and technology. In technology, I'm saying about like you're going for either Unreal Engine or any other kind of game engines that you can find, that you are familiar with. Because each engine will have different kinds of usage. So please do research and understand about your idea. So move on to, like, if you can see that, Real Legend is a PC simulation RPG. That's how we set things. Because before you move into a bigger picture, what to do, you need to understand what you want in the game. So for us, we have set it as it's a PC game. It's a combination of simulation and RPG. So that's a big title. So what should be included next is like we want to have farming, we want to have fishing, we want to have combat, we want to have catching monsters, and then multiplayer, and so many more things. So all these little things, you need to document it down inside a GDD. That's a pre-production. So after that, you move into the production. Once you test your prototype, when you know, okay, my character moved from A to B, and then there's the things that happens in between is something fun. I feel, okay, this is what I want. Then you move into the real production cycle, which is adding more the core features. Like if it's a combat, you add in, you want to use a bow or a great sword, or what kind of combos, or the turn-based, the skill sets. Yeah, these are the implementations. This is where you look into all the details in the production cycle. And also here, optimization is very, very important. Imagine a game without optimization is like you're having the most powerful PC, but you can't play the game. So that is very important. Optimization is where you do it during the whole cycle of production. Okay? And when production is not fun, once you're in production but you found out that it's not fun, look at the arrow there. I go back to pre-production. Why? Because the fundamental of games. Anyone know what's the fundamental? What's the most important thing in game? Anyone? It's to be fun, right? Making games is to try to entertain people with fun factors. So when you are in the whole, alright, okay. So when you're in the whole production cycle and you found out that it's actually not fun, do you still continue? No, right? Yeah, because you know that it's not fun and people are not going to enjoy it. So you can't continue. So you have to go back to the loop where you start revisiting your GDD, your game design document, because that is where what you have stated down. And it obviously made the game not fun. So you have to continue visiting your GDD to make sure that you got the experience that you want to share with people. So the production and pre-production is a very, very big cycle. Whenever the game is not fun, you go back to pre-production, and then go back to production, and then go back again. So until everything is done, and you feel that, okay, what I want is all in the game. Then you move to the next one, post-production, where you start to have playtest, alpha, beta. You know, when we play games, we always give feedbacks. Damn, the server is so lag. This blah blah blah, this blah blah blah. Optimization is not good. Animation is not good. So those are the feedbacks that people give you. So that is during post-production, where you start to get information and you start debugging your game. Okay, so instead of cooldown, 5 seconds is too long. Then I reduce it to 3 seconds. So it is a place where you start to adjust your final game, your final product. So that's why you see a lot of people say, please send us feedbacks at blah blah blah, at blah 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 email. You know, a lot of people abuse the bugs to make level up easy, or to make the whole gaming experience a different kind of experience. So that's what a developer doesn't want. So that is how the whole big process, the whole cycle is about. So why is game design document important? Why, right? Because small ideas are easy to solve in your mind. For example, Tetris, a small simple game, Candy Crush. You know, I just want 3 same fruits or colors to match. So it is very easy to visualize it and explain it to people. But not AAA games, God of War, Devil May Cry. How can you tell people about Devil May Cry? Through verbally. So you need to document things down. It's so hard. Because if you don't believe it, try closing your eyes now. Close your eyes. Okay? So think of a fruit in your mind now. Okay? Everyone have fruit in your mind? Okay. Raise your hand, whoever imagines an apple. All right, there are a few. Strawberry? Papaya? Obviously, guys, okay, so see, different kind of people will have different kinds of imagination. Imagine if you don't have a very, very, very specific and details in your mind, everyone will have a different version. Everyone will have a different version of games. For example, the first one. 2 brothers from a mushroom town wearing red and green with a mustache on a journey to save a princess. What game is this? Yeah, very good. 10 players divided into 2 teams. They have either attack or defend their base to see which team wins. Some Dota, some Mobile Legends. See? With this kind of information being so the last one, you jump out of a plane in the middle of the sky with 100 people, kill them, eliminate them, and you get a chicken meal. Yeah. PUBG, right? Everyone know PUBG. Yeah. So this is the fundamental. When we look at these statements, we know that, oh, this represents certain games. This represents certain games. But if I'm telling you, we want to make a game in medieval fantasy world, with a warrior, and he's gonna kill the dragon, and he's gonna end up dead. So with just a statement like that, everyone will have a different kind of interpretations. Some people might say that, okay, the warrior might use a sword. Some might say it's a dual sword. So if GDD is not clear enough, everyone will not be on the same page. Because what we want is to have the whole team understanding the fundamental and the direction of the game. So always remember, GDD is where you put all the informations inside so that every team member knows. Because imagine, the designer designs the warrior, and then they say that he is very, very tall, he's very buffed, and then it goes to the artist. The artist will imagine he's tall, buff, so he should be very old. So it become an old uncle, fat, buff warrior. And then goes to the programmer. I think he should use bow lah, you know. So it becomes a fat, buff uncle in tight skirt or anything using a bow. So with everyone not on the same page, this will happen. This happened to us many times when we are not directing our team very, very precisely on what to do. People will use their own imagination. They will use their own understandings to make games, because creativity is God-given. We are all born with creativity in mind. We all have our perfect game. We all have the perfect characters we want. Some wants to be a warrior, some want to be an assassin, some wants to be a mage. Some likes to be a tanker, but some like to be a damage dealer. So everyone have a different kind of mindset and characteristics. That is the reason why before we start making a game, we really need to write down all these important things. It should be so detailed that people are not going to ask any questions about your direction of a game. So if it's a medieval game, and then that's all you tell your team, people are going to start wondering, should we include mythical creatures? Should we have cyclops? Should we have this? Should we have that? So when people start raising questions, which means that your game design is not solid enough. A lot of people will say that, never mind lah, we only got 4 people, right? And then we just share, we just tell people what to do, just share like that. But you have to know, one day you're going to fight. When they say, hey, that day you say you want to put this in, then you might forgot. Then you say, no, I didn't. Then there's no proof. A GDD is where everyone unites. Anything goes wrong, check back. It's like a Bible. It is like a very, very important document that you should not neglect, because that's very, very important. Okay? So the next thing I would like to share is about the mentality. Because after you know your technical skills, after you know that, okay, my major is this, my major is that, and then I have a group of passionate people, so the next thing is going to be mindset. The mindset that I want to share today is like our Malaysians' mindset versus the global mindset. Because in Malaysia, a lot of people say that, a lot of game developers told me, we are only in Malaysia, we are so small, so we make small games lah. Now we only got 3 people, 5 people, so we make small games. It doesn't matter because it's Malaysia. So, but that doesn't apply. Our blood is the same color like how the US people. It's same like UK, it's same like Japan, Korea, China, everywhere. So now it's what we call a globalization business now. So we cannot just say that, okay, we are Malaysian, so we chill a bit. We have limited resources and we don't have enough people. So we have to think like if we are going to the global market. Because without that, we will not walk out from our comfort zone. We will forever feel like protected. Because we are Malaysians, that's why we can do this. Because we are Malaysians, because our company is not advanced enough, that's why we have the privilege to do things slowly. So that doesn't apply. Okay? So no, sit back, chill and relax. And a lot of people told me, I got no fundings, then I can't make games. So a lot of people say that I have good ideas, I have a lot of really, really great things in mind. I want to make the game, a AAA game. But that doesn't make sense if you don't have money, right? because a team needs money. Everyone needs to pay for their rental, their cars, their families, and stuff like that. But without fundings means, I can't make games. So this is what I heard a lot from the local developers and a few of my friends. They told me. But that is what stops you from creating value to your game. Because like for us, we know that money is an issue, so we find solutions. We go for kickstarting. We kickstart our project in US, and you know, a lot of people just feel like I'm just too comfortable in my life to walk out. I don't want to take debts. You know, we borrow money from families, from friends. Some friends don't even dare to pick up our calls because we really want to do this. We really, really, really are serious. That's why we borrow money. We have to ask our parents to refinance the house, and we have to borrow from friends, relatives, and you know, it was a very big debt for us when we just started. So that is how serious we want to be in the first place. So mentality is very, very important. When you think you can't, there's no way you can do it. So creating games, I launch it, I'm so happy about it, and then that's it. So a lot of developers have this kind of mindset. I want to make games. So I make a game, I develop a game, and then I publish it in App Store or in Steam, then that's it. They doesn't really understand about the whole cycle. What is the marketing campaign? What do you need to make people see your game? Is it luck? Or you just sit and wait so that one YouTuber or one live streamer, they just, you know, pick up your game and play it. That's why it becomes famous. You have to have a really, really solid management skill to make sure that you know what to do with your game. Because that is what makes you someone useful to the industry. Because without a good return, your teammates are going to leave you. This is reality. Because when it is not sustainable, why do we want to work together on something so suffering? My wife said no, my kids need milk. And then my dad, my mom, I heard someone ask, how do you persuade your mom and dad, you know? Yeah, so that's one big issue. You have to prove that there's a value. So you can't just make games for the sake of making games. When there's no future, when parents see no future, of course they'll say no. This is very obvious. Not only happens in parents and children's, even boyfriends and girlfriends. I see a guy or a girl with no future. He's just sitting at home every day doing nothing, playing games without knowing what's the future. Then I think that is a big issue. You have to know how to plan. You have to know you want to be a live streamer, you want to be a game developer, you want to have the knowledge. Where do you find the knowledge? Where do you get value? Where can you gain all the value-added information that you need to become someone that you want? So it is a very, very, very serious and important mindset that you need to have. So, or else you'll be like that little guy there, you just chill, you know, doing nothing. So what's a global mentality? Like I said earlier, there's no boundaries. Unite everything into one. Because now you don't launch a game in Malaysia. You launch a game, you launch it globally. Right? So why you want to constrict yourself, stop yourself from being a Malaysian when you can go global? Nothing stops you. It's you who stops yourself. Okay, so the next thing is a proper planning on your financial game design, your technical strategies, and we use GOSPA technique, which is we set a goal, and then we have smaller objectives. From the objectives, we make strategies, because we can only achieve our objective with the correct strategy. And then we start planning things out, the whole roadmap. For example, I want to make a game in 2 years. So a game in 2 years, I have to know what are the specs I need for the game. What are the features I want? Is it an action game? You know, then I need a bigger plan. Then how many characters are there in the game? So how can I achieve that if I have only 10,000 in my pocket? Do I do outsourcing? Do I get more co-founders? Those are different kinds of executions that you need to think before you start making a game. You doesn't want to make a game and halfway, damn, I have no money left and no one wants to work with me. Then how? I close down, I continue working for others. And then, you buried your passion. So that's what happens in a lot of scenarios in Malaysia. So that's why parents will say that, no future. I see a lot of people, you better go and sell insurance, you better be an engineer, you better be a lawyer, a doctor. At least you're sustainable. So the key word here is not about you do gaming or you be a vet or you be whoever, or you want to be an artist, entertainer. The key word for the grown-ups, for the people out there, is sustainability. Can you feed yourself? That is the question that they have in mind. So they are not objecting because they want to object. It is something new for them, and there is not a lot of proven records. That is why they will say, I don't know if you have future in doing this. So we have to make value, and we have to think and plan it seriously. So stay small. Always stay small. Don't think like, okay, now I want to make a triple A game, so I need 50 people. I keep getting people, and you burn yourself eventually. So stay small, plan it well, and then secure fundings. Because when you stay small, is where everyone have the same passion in mind. Because when you have a very big team, you start to forget who is who, and then everyone will start to communicate in their own group, and the passion will be lost. And then people will have like politics happening here and there, where we doesn't want that to happen, right? So always stay small before you're securing any fundings. And now it's all about the micro international business. What does micro international business mean? Right? Micro means small. International means the global market. So business is what we are owning. So a micro international business means we can be small. We can operate at home. But we are talking to people in the global scale. So it doesn't need to be like the conventional, traditional business where we need to be 500 people. Then we expand to overseas. You can expand to overseas with only 5 people in the team. Because people now, what they want is not the quantity or the people in your company. It's the quality. It is the creativity idea that you have in mind. So the last thing that I want to say here is about the creating values. This is very important. Why is this important? Because a lot of people say that I got a game, I got a demo, I got all the things I need, but I don't have money. Why people don't give you money? Have you thought about that? Just like before you buy anything, do you think before you buy, or you just, wow, this is cheap, I buy? It's not the way, right? It is because of value. You know it is a 5 ringgit nasi lemak versus a 15 ringgit nasi lemak. Some people might go for the 15 one because there are some things that I like to eat inside. So that is the value. What makes a nasi lemak 5 ringgit and what makes a nasi lemak 15 ringgit? It's the same goes to the game, the value. How much work have you put into the game, about the demo? How much things have you showcased? Just like us, when we have our concept on Kickstarter, we raised about 2 million in just less than 30 days, making us the most funded Kickstarter project in Southeast Asia. So it is about how much things that you want to show and how much value have you created for that particular project. Same goes to exams. When you guys are working on your final year projects, the teachers, the lecturers are gonna give you your marks based on your effort, based on the value that you have created to your homeworks, your assignments, right? They don't just give because I just give for fun. So everything, there is always a value before asking for fundings, before asking for anything in advance. Think within your team. Think within your group of people. Why does people want to fund us? Why does the government want to give me a grant? Why? Keep asking the why until you can't find anything. Then, that is what we call the calculatable risk. Because you have eliminated everything else. you have fulfilled everything in your career that it's almost fail-proof. So this is how you create values. Is the game fun enough? If you are opening up a restaurant, you're going to ask, is the food delicious enough? Is it good enough? If you're a hotel, is it comfortable enough? Is it safe enough? So for games, you always have to ask, is it fun enough? Because game is where we deliver experience. When we are not giving a good experience, why do people want to, pay for it? Consumers are not dumb. So many gamers here, you buy games because you support the game. When you look at the review, you find out the game is not good, not worth it. So a lot of people always use the word, it doesn't worth $35. So that is the value. That is the value that we need to have when we are pitching to someone. No matter it is a consumer, no matter if you are in a hall talking to funders, or you're asking for money when you're borrowing money from your relatives, you need to make them understand that this is something that you're going to create, and this is the value of it. So if you yourself, you doesn't really know how to gauge the value of your game, how does other people going to pay you? People can't risk their money for your imaginary. Everyone's money is hard-earned money, even the pocket money. You save up for a few months just to buy a mouse. Then you found out that, oh my God, I shouldn't have bought this mouse. This is not something that you want people to think about your game. So, adding value, always looking at your GDD, always make sure that you focus on your mindset of your whole team, focusing on creating value to the game itself is more important than thinking about what to do next, what's our next game. Because you are currently working on this thing. Until you have set everything down, don't diverse your imaginations and don't add too many things into the game that doesn't add value. You need to have a core value. When a game adds everything together, it becomes a dilution where you doesn't understand or know what's actually the game is offering. You need to have a very, very solid core value, which is the core features. So that makes people feel fun when I play it. So a farming game needs to be fun when you're looking at the farm's simulation. So when an RPG game, you need to be fun if you have a really, really, really good storyline, because it's a role-playing game. So an action game, we need a lot of flashy combos, we need a lot of really nice outfits, and we need fast pace. For mobile, we need to have the satisfaction when we are dominating the other team. So when we are carrying the whole team. So these are the core values that each of the games that I just mentioned have. Imagine an action game, but they're working on the background art as their focus. No one's gonna buy the game because the core value when you set the game as an action game doesn't have the impact if you don't work on the main core feature. So always make sure that you polish the game to a very fun state before you start questioning people, why people doesn't play my game. Okay? So I believe that's about it. We have covered from the technical side of point of view, how to make a game, what's the pre-production, production, the whole cycle. And also we look into the mindset, the mentality that we have. So after combining all these things into a studio, so this is what we got. So I want to share a bit of our Real Legend trailer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, so do you guys have any questions regarding, game development? Any?
Any question from the floor? You guys to ask about the game just now, or what is the first step to venturing into games development? Any question from the floor? Ada tak?
So when people make more of that kind of games, it becomes the supply is more than the demand. So if people start to play the game and feel like, nah, it's too much. When you eat durian too much, you feel like you're gonna vomit. So it's the same goes to the game industry. A lot of people, especially indies, they thought that, okay, this is the trend, so we should follow. So like for our case, we have failed at least 6 years from making mobile games because we thought mobile is a trend. People say that mobile is a trend because more people got phones and there are people downloading the games and they're gonna pay. So we believed in that, and that is how we start venturing into mobile games and making a lot of mobile games, which is not what we really know. Everyone will have their own strength. Always stick to your strength. Like for us, we played so many Harvest Moons and Rune Factories and the kind of nostalgic feelings. So we know what the player wants. Think as a player. Think as what you would like to play as a player before making a game, than to see what we need in the market. We always have enough games to play in the market. But how much effort do you want to put into the game is how much depth you have about that genre. So always focus on the things that you know the most instead of following the market, because that killed us for 6 years. Yep. Thank you.
Any more question from the floor? All right.
Hello.
We have two
a few.
questions. Yeah, I'll go to the end of the line first.
Hello,
Hello.
good evening.
Hi.
So my question is, as an indie developer,
Okay.
what are the most crucial things that need to be considered while developing a game without losing much focus?
How big is the team? That's the first question you have to really think. How many people do you want to have in your core team? And you don't make a God of War with 5 people, right? So be realistic. If you have 5 people, look for a simple game that can provide a fun experience. So focus is one thing. Instead of you want the battle to be, flashy, and you want to have 6 kinds of weapons, you want to have armors that can change colors, you just put that aside. Always just focus on one thing. And when the team can deliver that one thing, then you move on. Or else what kills your team is not about the focus. It's about the workload that kills the passion. When you are in the studio, you're listening to music for 10 hours a day, versus you're enjoying the music for 4 hours a day. One, you're enjoying making music. One, you're working. So when you're working, eventually you'll feel like, I just want to finish this off. I don't care about the quality. I don't care about this anymore. Because this too happens to us. When we have too many things to be implemented in a game with a very, very small team, that kills the passion and we will lose our focus. So always focus on just one thing at a time. Or the people in your team will feel like, I just want to finish this and move on. Because I don't feel the game anymore. I don't feel the passion anymore. I just feel like I want to make something new, or I just want to move away from this project. So always stay small, and then stay united as a team. As a leader, you need to motivate them a lot. Yeah.
All right, I think we have another question from this side. Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to ask if, as a beginner developer and as someone who just started to learn how to develop a game, what kind of platform should we use? Like, now in 2019, there's tons of different platforms for video games. Should we like start using, developing on Android or iOS, Windows, or anything else? That's my question.
Okay. So you have to know the market segment before this. So there's a lot of platforms. You know, Google have Android, and then Sony have their own Sony store, and then like Apple, they have their own app stores, and it's PC, you have Steam, and now you have Epic Store. So there are so many platforms out there. So it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because what matters is the game fun? If the game is fun, no matter which platform you release, you will get tons of reviews. People are going to play the game, and that's where you'll be successful. Because if you lock down saying that, okay, this is the platform, then you have to work around that criteria. For us, why we make PC game is because we failed in mobile, and we know our strength. So we combine all our strengths and to see which platform suits us the best. Because we don't pick something and we go to make it. We try to make sure that we combine, group up the strength that we have and see what's the outcome. And see what is really the best platform. Because if you're looking at PC and phones, the revenue is almost the same. If you did some research online, for mobile revenues and the PC games, premium games revenue is very similar. So it doesn't really matter because you can't make 2 billion people play your game, right? What we need is a 0.001% to make your parents feel satisfied, right? Yeah. So always look at your strength first. Because if you are trying to set a parameter, then we should say you are only working things within the parameter. Yeah.
All right, any more questions from floor? All right.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm just asking, like, many people want to make games, but
Okay.
the thing is, like, we don't know, like, where to get the resources. Like, what do you recommend, like, books or videos or something like that? Because we don't know how to make games. Like, we want to make games. Like,
Okay.
Watching Legend, like, obviously I will want to make a game like this, but I don't know where to start or, like, which way to follow, like, any books or any recommendation for that.
Okay. So you want to know how to start.
Yeah.
If you're a beginner, you have no knowledge, you know nothing at all, but you have ideas. You know what games you want to make, but where to start, right? So the first thing is write down your ideas. Like I said, you start a game design document. So what characters do I have in mind? What kind of concept is it? You know, is a fantasy or is it? Make sure that you have that first, because you eventually forget. Because creativity is always the same. You know, the melodies that you sing when you are mandi, you forget when you finish your shower. So it's the same goes to this kind of creativity. Always write down the points at least. Then after that, if you think that, okay, you want to do it yourself, then you can always Google, like how we started. We Google and we watch YouTube, you know, to learn what's a C++ and to learn what's programming, to learn what's how to implement things in the game engine. So until today, even though we have developed game for a few years, we are still learning through the internet because that's the fastest way, and I would say the cheapest way. Yeah.
All right, I'm
All right.
guessing that will be the last question for this session. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Mr. Gan, for your sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Again, I really enjoy watching the trailer. I
Thank
hope it's
you.
out very, very soon.
Yep, it's
So I'm
gonna be
try
out
it.
soon.
All right. So thank you, Mr. Gan, for
Thank
your
you.
session.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for listening. So pada penonton di rumah, terima kasih kerana masih lagi sudi bersama kami di Aspek Kejohanan Isukan Kampus Zon Borneo. Kita akan menyambung kembali sesi talk kita sebentar saja lagi dengan speaker yang seterusnya. Untuk itu kita kembali lagi selepas ini dan terima kasih kerana terus bersama Aspek Kejohanan Isukan Kampus Aspek 2019.